Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first edition of the RipChip Show, featuring me, your host, RipChip. I know I've recently uploaded the RipChip episode 0 thing, but that was less like what I want to do and more like a, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and giving you an update on what I've been doing. So here's the first real thing. Let's get into it. To start, let's talk about what's been going on with my streaming so far. As many of you know, I am a speedrunner, and one of the games I've been focusing on recently was Star Wars Dark Forces. I have been recently trying to get the time for the All Secrets category down to a sub 33, and it's even possible to get it to a sub 32. And the other day, I had a time that was a sub 33, and I was so happy until somebody pointed out this. Yeah, so I apparently did not trigger one of the secrets in one level. One secret was missed. Well, technically it wasn't missed. I literally was in the area where the secret was. I just didn't go far in enough to trigger the secret. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what this category is, basically the goal is to beat the game and find all the secret areas. And to find them, you need to trigger their secret area triggers, which is simply just walking into the secret area, going over the trigger where it is, and the percentage goes up. It's that simple, but I missed that one, and so now I've been struggling to try and get a time even remotely close to it, because that run was pretty good. It's also been very difficult, and often at times left me very demoralized, because I've been doing the run and having to deal with this whole, oh hey look, I got this one time, but not really, and I'm struggling to get it again. Really wears you down. It's kind of that really awkward balance of being committed to trying to do something and also at the same time not letting it completely dominate you. And that struggle has been making it very difficult to actually successfully get a run without being super critical about my performance, because that really can bring you down, or some people thrive off of it. I'm one of those people where if I get too into it, it starts to become less fun. So I'm trying to find that balance. I still really want to get this time, but maybe I'll let off of it for like a week or something and then get back on it. Maybe start practicing some other speed games. Either way, it's going to happen at some point. I guarantee it. Just might take more time than I thought it was going to. Anyways, let's talk about stuff that's not Dark Forces. Let's talk about the core element of the RipChip Show, stuff that I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is something that's not necessarily, new, but I wanted to bring it up because I saw a video for it on my YouTube feed earlier before I was recording this. As many of you people who are familiar with gaming YouTube know, there was a show for a long time on YouTube, and even before YouTube, called Classic Game Room. It's a gaming show that talks about different video games, reviews them, talks about different consoles, different gimmicks to consoles, even things somewhat related to video games that aren't necessarily video games. Mark reviewed Bananas once, for fuck's sake. And you know what? It was great. And that's the general gist of Classic Game Room. It's a great show. It always has been. But unfortunately, in more recent months, profits from YouTube have become a lot smaller, even for Classic Game Room, and so Mark moved away from YouTube and is now producing content for CGR on Amazon. The new show he's been working on is CGR 2085, which is, well, from what I can see, basically more Classic Game Room, and that's totally cool. I want to talk about this because I remember when Mark said he was going to be moving away from YouTube, I was a little bit upset because I really liked the content of Classic Game Room, and having a platform to watch it on very accessibly was really nice. And also on top of that, I'm probably one of the 5 people on the earth that doesn't use Amazon Prime because I don't use it enough. So the only way I'd be able to watch CGR 2085 is to pay for each episode, which I wouldn't mind doing it because I really like Classic Game Room. But still, it's more of the fact that, the option of just having it on my YouTube feed right there when new content came out is no longer there. And that's something that made me upset, but I'm not mad about Mark moving because I completely understand his reasoning for it. If he wants to keep the company of Classic Game Room alive and profitable, you gotta make changes. And YouTube is honestly just not one of those places for big time success for that kind of thing to happen anymore. In all honesty, I just wish the best of luck for him because I love his content. I think he's a genuinely cool dude, has made a lot of stuff that I've enjoyed in the past, and I will continue to enjoy, in the future when eventually I do decide to watch it. I don't know when that's going to happen, but whenever I do watch it, maybe I'll do some discussion on my review of it or stuff like that. Either way, Classic Game Room has always been fantastic content, and I wanted to mention that because one of the saddest things I have to see is all the videos that are currently being uploaded to Lord Carnage's YouTube channel are having to turn off comments and disable likes and dislikes. Because I guarantee it's going to be a lot of angry people just disliking a comment and saying, "Mark, come back to YouTube." And it's a shame because he's just doing a lot of more laid-back drawing stuff for his, other side projects with, art and book publishing and stuff. But it also recently uploaded the trailer for 2085. If anybody's seen it, let me know what their thoughts are, because like I said, at some point I'm sure I'll probably end up watching it. Next on the list, also not really new news to talk about. In case you somehow missed it, the game list for SGDQ 2018 is out. I submitted 4 games, as you may have seen on my YouTube feed. Unfortunately, none of the 4 games I submitted got in, but you know what? I'm not upset about it because there's a lot of really good games that got in this year. And on top of that, I'm still going and I'm still going to have fun when I'm over there anyways. I highly recommend checking out the game list because there are a lot of cool games that are on this list and a lot of games that are being done that haven't been done in a while. I think 2 of the really cooler runs that I'm looking forward to are seeing Jedi Knight being done, because that hasn't been done in a while, and it's one of my favorite speedruns to watch, no matter who's doing it. And on top of that, the route is significantly different than it was back in 2015 or 2014. I don't remember what year it was, but it's a different game. I'm also looking forward to Prey No Out of Bounds, because if you watch the Prey any percent run from SGDQ, you know that game is really, really broken. And seeing the No Out of Bounds run of it's going to be pretty cool. Because even then, there's still really cool speed tech to it. There's a lot of other games I could mention and just talk about, and things I'm looking forward to, things I don't necessarily care for. Maybe I'll do that for another video. But more the point of me saying this is to bring out the idea that if you have not seen the game list, check it out, because there's going to be some cool stuff on there. And of course, if any of you by chance are going to be at the event this year, feel free to come say hi to me if you see me around the venue. Buy me a drink or something. That'll definitely get my attention. Now, on to a topic related to speedrunning is another speedrunning marathon that just recently announced that it was going to be canceled. That is the speedrunning marathon known as Oceanside, which was a little project put together by the legendary content creator Apollo Legend. Now, I mean no ill will when I say this, but this event ultimately just getting canceled is something that I honestly saw coming way back when it was announced originally. I think one of the things that always had me skeptical about the event is the ambition it had, the amount of money it was asking for funding, and the fact that the actual funding it was raising wasn't even close to what the actual goal was. And after a certain point, Apollo was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, we're not going to have to worry about this. It's going to be funded. We're going to be good." So it was going to happen. But recently, in low-key fashion, rather than having like an upload or anything or a public Twitter post about it, there was a thing sent out saying that it was canceled. And one of the most unique things about the letter and what it said when I saw the post was things saying about how Apollo Legend himself got into financial jeopardy or something. And there's a lot of talk about what that means or whatnot. Some of you might have heard there has been talk about Billy Mitchell potentially taking legal action against him. I don't remember the exact details on that, but people were wondering if maybe that has something to do with the financial aspect of it. There could be other things too, maybe dropped sponsors, or maybe, poor planning or whatnot, maybe an overambitious idea that just was not properly planned. But I think my favorite comment that I saw on our speedrun was somebody saying that he 100% got wrecked by crypto. That would be both hilarious and also fucking awful at the same time. Like I said, no ill will. I don't particularly care for the stuff Apollo Legend pulls out. I don't necessarily like his attitude for some things. I don't disagree with what he does. I mean, I think content creation for YouTube, for speedrunning is fine. But regardless, Oceanside has been canceled. Regardless of the circumstances, this is something I felt like was going to happen regardless. It just seemed like it was overambitious for something like what it was. and honestly, I was not really interested in the event because it just seemed like it was nut hugging big popular speedrunning streams on Twitch. Which, by the way, that's no ill will against the big people that were being invited, because a lot of them are actually really cool people that I've met. Either way, that's canceled. Will it come back again? Who knows? Will Apollo Legend do another event? Who knows? Only time's gonna tell on that one. So what's coming up this upcoming week? Unfortunately, my week is a little bit chaotic this time around, so it's very hard for me to plan what I'm going to do. I can't even have a set schedule this week because I just don't know how I'm going to make that work. I've got a lot of stuff going on, visiting family this next weekend. On top of that, I also have to take my car into the shop at some point, and I've also got a very busy work week ahead of me, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to stream, so I can't say, what is fully to expect this time around. Might just be dabbling here and there, playing what I feel like at the time whenever I go live. Thinking of maybe trying Dark Forces again, maybe continuing to de-rush Shadows of the Empire. Who knows? We'll see. I've also been replaying Super Mario Star Road, which is a great ROM hack, by the way. Anyone who is interested in Mario 64 should play it. So maybe I'll do that too. But it's kind of going to be one of those on-the-fly things, which I post about on my Discord and on my Twitter, so you can follow me there if you really want to know. And anyways, that's the first edition of the RipChip show. Hopefully you guys like it. I'm still kind of, trying to craft how I want to do this, and it's still very much a work in progress. So if you have any recommendations, things you think I would like to talk about or look into, feel free to comment that. And yeah, look forward to the next part. But before we completely close this off, let's watch this clip of some stuff that happened when I was casually playing Jedi Outcast. Like it becomes unwinnable because of how low my health is. What the fuck? Quality video games there. Anyways, I'm RipChip, and this is my sign out.